Right. So I know you guys are aware of Marcus Ball, and man, I mean, just really, your heart goes out to him. A guy that great young man, great person. He's had obviously some medical difficulties and issues, and just he still will be very much a big part of our team. He'll be a student coach helping us with the secondary, but I just wanted to just say how proud I am of him, and you know, it's just sometimes, you know, there's lots of things in life that are unfair, and that's sure one of them. And but man, just he's a champion. He's a guy that's obviously got a great future ahead of him, and the good thing is that he's excelling academically. Obviously, going to graduate and do some great things. But and we obviously he's a great player for us. We hate to lose him, but you know, in life sometimes things, it kind of puts things in perspective of what's important. So just want him to know we're thinking about him. Questions?
Did you see this heading this direction?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and ultimately it was, you know, it's his decision, and it's just been a very, very challenging situation. So yeah, I you know, it's and I think it's a hard decision, but I do think it's the right one. Very good football player.
I know you can talk about every game really being determined at the line of scrimmage, but do you think a team like San Diego State, even emphasis at that point that much more just with their sprint?
Yeah, I think the single most important thing in this game is turnover ratio, and then obviously the physicality of it. I mean, your run game defense and run game offense, to me, is the #1 correlation to points being scored. It's the #1 thing I think that impacts points being scored, other than just if you're just going to give up one-play touchdown. So I think that's the fact, the #1 thing in this game to me is the turnover ratio factor. That negative plays. You got to eliminate negative plays, 0 defects. Don't early in the year, and really pretty much all the year, but especially early in the year, it's a team that beats itself. And so we got to take care of the football. We've got to eliminate the defects to minimize negatives, and then we got to block and tackle. That's what it pulls. It's kind of this will be a physical challenge for us. And a team that's, you know, I think they've been the back-to-back Mountain West champion, and been really successful, and very well coached.
Ron was just up here talking about having more of a workload this year. What's the biggest change you noticed in him from last year?
Did you say Karan? Yeah.
What's the biggest change you noticed in him from last year to this year?
Just maturity. You know, last year was his first year with us, and you know, I tell you, I think he's got a great future ahead of him, because he was so raw last year, and just his mental maturity has probably been the biggest improvement. You know, Doug, he is so fast. I mean, he's fast enough to play DB. You know, so but I think just mental maturity and really being conscientious of developing his fundamental technique. Bless you. I think is the biggest thing, and I don't think he's even close to being where he can be. I mean, I just think he's just now starting to develop. So and I like he's a guy that you cheer for, because he wants to be great. He really does, and he's willing to invest whatever it takes. He'll do whatever it takes, you know. And there's not a lot of people that talk about it, and everybody wants to be great, right? But then you got to pay the price for it, which is difficult. But he's a guy that's doing that, and I think he's a guy that's. I think him and DJ. I think those guys they're developing a little bit of a personality about them, you know. And I think that was not there last year. So.
Is Jalen Bates a possibility?
I hope so. You know, I think that's been a deal. You know, it's just that end position. You know, I think, and this is a game that Jalen can really help us. I do not think he's released yet. He just had that was just a really difficult injury that he had. So, but I think he's pretty close.
Coach, last week we had total statue revealed, and this week we're honoring Frank Kush.
Mm-hmm.
Embodiment throughout the season. We've seen Coach Frank Kush kind of
Yeah, I tell you, and I know we're doing it for this game, but what he did, our guys we've dedicated our season, every season after this. We wouldn't have a season here if not for Frank. And so, obviously we're going to recognize him at this game for his, the lifetime achievement that he had and the difference he made in so many lives. And so, and isn't it fitting that this is going to be a physical game? This is a game that we've got a big challenge ahead of us there, and so I think Frank would like this contest, and so it's like I always say, it's an honor for me to coach at the place where he built, and so and our guys are very aware of that, but that's something that we talked about, and we've been talking about it a couple years ago when we carried him off the field at Camp Tonazona. I told him that that's a guy who won 176 games and really did countless things for this university over what a 50-year period, and up until I think he was he went to every away game last year, didn't he? Just about. And so I knew that was the last time that he was going to get carried off the field, and so. Obviously, this is the game we're recognizing him as a university, and we surely want to go out and play it in a way that he would be happy, and we're going to do our best to do that.
Anybody else? All right, thanks, Coach.
Outstanding.